It's the NUKA-COLA Lounge, presented by the Triple S League.
Okay, so the episode you're about to hear was recorded a couple of weeks ago. We had no end of technical issues in trying to get this episode ready, including the initial recording process, so there are some audio quality issues, but we felt that we had some great discussion with our special guest on this episode. So, for better or worse, here it is, and we hope you enjoy. Hello everybody, welcome to the NUKA-COLA Lounge podcast. My name is Ash, and I'm here with Saib, and with Mr. Chimp, who's becoming a regular on this show. We have the opportunity today to talk to the developer of an indie game that we have all been playing and have been thoroughly enjoying. Actually, we spent some time streaming it. It's called Roguelands, and it's a very fun roguelike. We have with us today Sean from SmashGames, the developer and designer of this game, and if I'm not mistaken, you're a one-man operation, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got somebody doing the music, but I do all the art and the programming and game design and stuff.
Well, the music's great. The game is... No.
Yeah, he's the same guy who did the music for Magicite. I don't know if you guys have played.
I haven't. This is the first game I found by you, so I'm actually going to be checking out the rest of them.
Yeah, I just took a quick look at Magicite before we got on the call here. You seem to be a fan of the roguelike genre.
Yeah. Well, what inspired Magicite, which was my first PC game, was pretty much, Spelunky and Minecraft, specifically hardcore mode. I was really a big fan of just hard games and crafting and stuff and platforming, so that's how I made Magicite, and people really seem to like that kind of game, so I went and, a lot of people call Roguelands Magicite 2, which I think is pretty fair. There's a lot of, huge improvements, I think, to gameplay and design and stuff, but I'm a fan of roguelikes and really tough games.
The difficulty ramps up. Specifically, our first encounter with that was the null. Like, we killed this dragon boss. We thought we were hot stuff. Went to the null.
Yeah, it's first off, it's not supposed to be called null. That's totally a bug.
You should keep it that way. I think it's great. What's the name?
I was thinking like demon something because he looks pretty demonic.
Oh, is that okay? So I saw you on your Twitter. You were referencing the demon zone.
Yeah, that's what the original name was supposed to be, but I don't know. Maybe if enough people want null zone, I'll keep it that.
It just rings a bit like we're like, what's the null? We're gonna go there. It's this. We thought it was gonna be great, and we got murdered. So it's hung with us.
I find that highly amusing, just having a background in coding and programming, because I know exactly where null comes from. So I'm going to enjoy that even more now.
We're going to beat him.
We're definitely going
40 hours of gearing up. I'm going to go back there.
Is he beatable, or are you just trolling people with that one?
With the new boss? Just wanted something a little harder because I actually think I should go back and buff like you guys said, you beat the lava dragon. I think he's a little too easy right now, and probably go back and adjust some of the other bosses.
A few of the bosses were like, oh cool, let's get some more of these guys and kill them real quick, because they were at a point they become fairly easy. We just recently started dabbling in the challenge zones, which are tougher, but still seem to do okay. Although we had one of my regular stream viewers with us who was pretty geared out.
Have you guys had a chance to use the gear mods and stuff?
We didn't know what they were until yesterday. I got some portals to the mech city, so we went there and we're like, what are shards? These are things that and that's kind of the great thing about the game is there's not a lot to go on. You jump in and you just figure it out. That's been quite fun. So
yeah, the whole element of discovering new stuff. That's kind of what I built the whole crafting system around. It's like people just trying different emblems together, and it's kind of exciting, when you get a new gun or something.
What made you stick with the pixel art style in this particular one?
Well, I first started doing pixel art with Pixel Kingdom, which was my, I think, 10th mobile game. Before that, I had a weird cartoony art style. But I just quickly found out that I could make things a lot quicker, and there's a lot of really great-looking pixel art games out there, and I try to, make my own style, and hopefully people like it. But yeah, it's a combination of, I like what it looks like, and also it's pretty convenient for me to quickly get out, a lot of different types of monsters and stuff and weapons.
I think it's good pixel art. Like I've played. I don't know if you played Roguelands.
Have you heard of this game, Roguelands?
Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Legacy, yeah, they've got some pretty good art.
That's pretty good. I enjoyed that was my first roguelike, and since I've been hooked, and now I don't even play that. I've probably logged at least 3 hours a day on this game.
My first roguelike was ASCII art. You had monsters represented by just the ASCII symbols.
Darklands for me. Anybody remember Darklands?
Darklands was a roguelike?
Sort of. Your characters died permanently.
I mean, that fits the bill, I think.
There wasn't any crafting in it, but it was kind of like that. I mean, that's going back.
Well, Rogue Legacy doesn't have crafting either. You just upgrade your little castle and your heirs with their, OCD and whatever weird ailments they have.
Well, the crafting and the inventory system is really one of the appealing
smooth
aspects of the game for me. It's roguelikes can get frustrating because you get this awesome stuff, but then you meet this overpowered boss and you die, and then your game's over. You're starting over from scratch. But you've implemented these mechanics where you're not completely starting over. You're starting a new character, but you have access to the inventory of the previous characters if they put their stuff in storage, and then you still have all the recipes that you've discovered and stuff. So there is this cumulative element, so you get sort of a jump on your previous characters.
Yeah, I did want to add a little bit more persistent gameplay, because Magicite was pretty much that. You play and then you die, and there's nothing carries over really, except for some of the stuff you unlock. But with Roguelands, I kind of wanted to ease the pain a little bit when you die, and it's like, oh man, I still have all this other stuff for I have this gun for a totally different build, and I can try this whole new character. So hopefully that kind of gets people to just try one more game.
Yep.
That's the way it's good for us. It's like, oh, I can make a gunner now, or I can make a swordsman.
By the time 1.0 comes out, hopefully there'll be a ton of different types of weapons and things, and people get hundreds of hours out of it.
It scratches that completionist itch I have as well with your, the recipe system and all that. Like, I need to get them all. And I know a lot of people play games for that. That they have to 100% them. But it is really nice dying and knowing, oh, I can make me a new sword, or I'm not really starting from scratch. And you have the Aether bulbs, which I just stockpile those because I know I'm going to die. It's going to happen. So when I die, I just gobble down a few of those to give me a little
that is
jump.
Yeah.
I do like the when you do die, you unlock new stuff, and I think that's a good way to handle that.
Yeah, I just want to ease the pain of losing a character, especially if this is a character that you built up for a week or two, and I want players to be able to be excited to start a whole new character again. And right now there's only, I think, 15 races or so, but I plan on having I think over 40, and then there's also augments and starting uniforms. So there's going to be a lot of things to unlock, and people hopefully will, when they die, they'll want to just keep going.
Now you mentioned augments. We haven't hit that yet.
There's none in the game, but in the character creation screen, how you can select your race, your races, or your augments and your uniforms. And so there's going to be over 40 of each, and they're probably just going to have different passive abilities, like change how your jetpack works, or I don't know, change your base speed or something.
It'd be cool if you made one that maybe wasn't all telling, but it switched your Q and your E. You had to play it backwards or something, or maybe there was a debuff you could get for that.
That's
Just
terrible.
Let's make it harder.
You guys just really want to screw with people, don't you?
Just a little bit.
All these suggestions, you're like, let's screw with everybody.
So I do have a question about the story mode. I haven't really identified a major storyline, but is it true that we are in fact working for an evil overlord that is bent on enslaving worlds?
Well, I have an idea of what I want the story to be, and there's definitely going to be some. You guys have probably seen the current quest system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be a totally different thing where you interact with NPCs, and there's a main story quest line that you can actually complete, and then quests for factions and stuff. Basically, there's the big destroyer who's destroying everything and eating up planets, and you and your friends play as Galactic Cadets, and you gotta, find out where he came from, and all the factions have a role in the story, and maybe there's gonna be some twists along the way.
Okay, in the shopping room, there's that big guy there. He looked like an evil overlord, so I kind of assumed that was the boss that we were working for.
Talking about the big robot guy, right?
You sell your stuff too. He reminds me of the guy from the new Star Wars movie. Oh, that'll give you 1/2 ration. I think this thing's really cool. He's like, here's 20 credits. Good luck.
Well, yeah, right when you get into the marketplace, that big robot-looking dude, that actually is supposed to be a mech suit. So eventually, one day, hopefully I can have where players can build their own mech, and they can climb inside of it and, get a bunch of new crazy stuff with that.
Okay, that works.
Quite the roadmap for this game.
You've got big ambitions. That's when I started in YouTube, which was not that long ago. What it's going to sound like way back when. No, it was less than a year ago. But on my first channel, I did a ton of these indie games, these games with one developer or a small development team. And I'm excited to be able to have you on the podcast and talk about your process. I love these games that are sort of, they're out of the box, because a big studio like Bethesda can put out a Fallout 4, something really massive, but indie developers have a lot more freedom to think outside the box. They're gamers, like you're a gamer yourself, so you know what gamers like. You're not subject to corporate groupthink and things like that might bring down the enjoyment quality of the game. Like, we've done a lot of videos recently on The Division.
Yeah.
And the production quality of this game is insane.
Yeah, it's a pretty game.
It looks amazing, but it's got zero replay value whatsoever. And the whole thing with the Dark Zone, we've talked about this on previous podcasts. It just doesn't make sense. What the hell's up with the Dark Zone? Why are we going there to kill each other and get stuff? Like, it just doesn't fit the rest of the game. So you can sort of see that disconnect between what the company thinks that the gamers are going to like and what we're actually going to be interested in. And so, yeah, I feel like indie games, there's much less of a disconnect there. You're making a game, presumably, that you would enjoy playing. And so there's going to be other people out there that enjoy playing it as well. And I think Steam is to be commended for making these kinds of games available for people through their Greenlight program and the way they're distributing games for indie developers. And anyway, I'll quit rambling, but I love indie games. Some of the best games I've ever played have been indie games. And usually, unfortunately, they're often shorter. They just don't have the resources of the big studios. But
you don't have 100 some odd people working on it. You're doing it all yourself, and you're putting out weekly updates to the game.
Yeah, but I agree with the whole indie gamer thing and the indie game developers that there's a lot of creativity, and we live in such an awesome time now where anyone can be a game developer, and it's so easy to get your game out there, especially like you said with Steam and stuff. And I think we're just going to keep seeing some really crazy, new, exciting types of games.
It's only get better.
When you were looking at making this game, what did you want to do to make this game different from what's already out there? Did you look at a lot of other games of this type? And
I'm always playing games and seeing what I like and what I find to be really fun. And so Roguelands borrows aspects from a ton of different types of games. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have a 3DS, but I probably played like over 80 hours of Final Fantasy Explorers. And they had a really cool ability system where you can like customize your abilities and stuff. So I'm like, hey, that's cool. I'm going to do that for gear pieces in Roguelands. So that's how the gear mod system was born. And, it's just stuff like that. It's got influences from Monster Hunter, from Destiny. I guess it creates a unique game because it takes things from a bunch of different games and now it's something totally different.
How's the development process been? Any major pitfalls?
Not really. It's just pretty time consuming. I work anywhere from like 6 to 10 hours a day. I mean, there's some days where I take breaks, but yeah, it's I'm kind of past the whole learning process. Like with Magicite, I had to learn how to do multiplayer and stuff and networking programming, and that was pretty tough. But with Roguelands, I knew how to do all that stuff, and I just had to put the time in, really.
Right. you've been doing weekly updates since this came out, right? So
Yeah, every Thursday.
any major DLC, or are you just going to keep it with the weekly updates?
So I'm thinking I have around 7 more updates, and then that's when I hit 1.0, and I will probably be moving out of early access then. And at that point, I'll probably shift it back down to like 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I'll release a build, because a lot of people want me to work on Magicite again, and I have a few other projects I want to work on too. As for DLC, probably not. I'll just keep adding content for free. If you buy the game, you can hopefully look forward to new content every other week.
Which is great. I mean, that keeps people coming back.
Yeah.
And the no guarantee controller support, that probably entices a lot of people. Love controllers.
Read on the Steam discussions, a lot of people are pretty passionate about that. I'm trying to work.
It seems like a daunting task, though. You have your inventory system, you have the chips, and all that other stuff you got to try to work in, movement, and
has to make sense.
The droids, you have a lot going on there. You left click and you can harvest stuff, and you right click to get into attack mode. So
you right click to accidentally delete part of your ship and then can't figure out how to put it back.
Yeah.
That's literally the first thing I did.
Do you still have a hole in your ship? I
still have a hole in my ship because I have no idea how to put it back. I still haven't figured it out yet, but the first thing I did was build mode, let's check that out. And then I left clicked on something and it was gone. So really my character should be getting sucked out into the vacuum of space, but
I probably should include a tutorial in the beginning.
I've enjoyed figuring it out. So it's like 50-50 for me. It's been
actually, I'd have to say, yeah. At first I was like, "What? There's no tutorial? We're just jumping in, okay?" But the whole process of just figuring out how everything works has been kind of fun. It kind of adds to the your character's a cadet, right? So you're kind of green as far as the experience goes. It's kind of how I imagine if you were a cadet on a ship. It's like your first day. You'd be like, what the hell is going on?
You rip a hole in shit.
So yeah, call your supervisor. Yeah.
There's a hole in the bridge.
Side of the ship. It's like your first day at a new job you've never done before. People don't have time always to explain to you what's going on, so you have to figure some stuff out by yourself, but they expect you to do it on time still. And I guess that added a bit of an immersive aspect for me. I have no idea if that was intentional or not, but
yeah, I never thought of it that way, but that's pretty cool.
I felt that way too on our first multiplayer mission, because you guys were all level 15 or 20 or whatever, and I was level 3, and I'm just trying to keep up and swimming through trails of destruction that all my colleagues are leaving behind, because I had this crappy weapon and couldn't keep up to them to save my life, so so I'm just swimming, collecting resources, and just well, I say swimming, I mean that.
Well, for a while there you were walking.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could do that sideways. What is it called?
The dash. I think it's
dash with your jetpack, and basically just
jump in there.
Jetpack across the level. Sean, thanks for joining us. It's always fun to talk to the person behind the game.
Thanks for having me, and this was a good time. It was fun.
Why don't you give us your Twitter and website if you have one?
Yeah, I'm at Sean Young SG on Twitter, and I don't actually have a website for Roguelands or SmashGames, but you can check out Roguelands and Magicite on IndieDB, and on Steam.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Those things help us out a lot. Also, join us over at Sugar Bombed for community, discussions, and gaming news.